What's going on, everybody? James here, RedoptionAgency.com, 23 years selling full-time on eBay. And we're Sunday. We're about 3:30 p.m., so a little bit halfway past my halfway point. But I don't know, just felt like I want to finally check the numbers from yesterday because I haven't checked the actual numbers to see what I did yesterday because it was doing pretty well. So I wanted to check that, so I figured I'd start this up. Plus, I saw a question on my YouTube that would take more than just a simple answer for. And I've talked about it before, but question is, hey James, and anyone else out there, what is it that you do daily to keep views, sales, etc.? How many do you list? And is there a secret to reset the algorithm? I need help live in Canada, and it's hell here trying to keep food on the table. So I'm going to get into this because I checked out her eBay store. So I want to bring that up and talk about a few things. But first, I want to see what I did yesterday. So as you know, this week, I actually, if you go back here, was riddled with problems, and I had probably the most consistent low days in a very, very long time because of whatever the updates they did on Sunday night last week, Saturday night or Sunday night, because this week it felt like it was they did stuff last night also. So I don't know if I don't remember if it felt like it did last weekend or if I even paid attention. According to the numbers, it kind of looks like that because Sundays used to be huge for me. And they are when there's no problems. But it felt like something was off yesterday. And last night, before I closed up shop, it was going steady all day. And then I started getting errors on the website about, I want to say it was about 8:39 p.m. Central Time. And my initial thought was when I started getting those, all of a sudden I go, they're probably working on the website now for the overnights thing that they do. Just what it felt like from, if you put together, what they normally do on Thursday nights, on Sunday nights, and how the site reacts. It felt like about 9 p.m. Central, they started working on the websites because I started getting errors and problems. So I think I had like, was it? I think I had like right near $900 by 9 p.m. Was it 900 or was it? Let me see what I did. Or was I coming up on 900? It was something, somewhere around there. It was a pretty good day up to that point. So I want to just see what I did yesterday. So this is the media store. So with the media store yesterday, $432. So $431.54. So not bad. 62 items sold here in this store. But what I'm about to show you, it was the surprise for me. We're going to go over to the clothing store here. Clothing store had probably my biggest day ever in this store since I've opened it. $698. So well past the $500 mark. So I was totally surprised with the sales that were coming out of this store yesterday. So yeah, I had about 900, about 9 o'clock. So we ended up with $1,129 yesterday. But yeah, almost $700 over here. I'm like, yeah, hello. I should be doing 700 in my media store. And so doing 700 over here, that was pretty kick-ass. I'm still on that point. Like, do I open a second new store, a new account, and move my media over? Just because I feel like I'm getting hosed on that media store still, because it still has more problems and issues and errors than this store does, than this account does. So I I still feel like there's something off with the big 23-year-old account, but I'm trying to hold it out, and I don't really want to. I don't want to abandon that store, but so so we'll do numbers for the week tomorrow, but I'm going to be down just because of those 4 days that were just totally trashed. So I know we're not going to be nowhere near the $922 average per day that we did last week. So was it last week? Yeah, I think so. So yeah. But yeah, today's rolling pretty good. We got, what, 220 there today, and almost 2 there. So we're over $400 at 330. So not too bad, as long as it keeps going. And I sold, I think it was 97 total items yesterday. So we were cooking yesterday. So that was nice to see, especially over here with all the hats and clothing I've been putting up. Actually, I haven't put up anything over here in like a week. I mean, I probably threw a little, some hats up or whatever, but for it just to sales to hit my highest number over here, and there's another one in that store, have my highest day ever when I haven't even listed over here in a week. It's going to kind of go into the question. So hats, hat frenzy yesterday, huh? Some shoes. Toys. More hats, more clothes. Hats were screaming yesterday. Look at that, man. Love it. What was my hat number yesterday? Let me see the breakdown. So $265 in hats yesterday. That's crazy. How many? Does it tell me? 16. So yeah, I mean, normally I have what, 5, 6 average per day. So to have, that's one-time buyer. Yeah, that's one-time buyers. So I have 16 hats sell yesterday, or at least 16 buyers. That's pretty cool. Shoes number 2, men's shoes. Major League Baseball number 3, women's hats number 4. So even a bunch of women's hats. 2. Okay, not a bunch, but and then boys' shoes. So yes. So definitely better weekend than it was those 4 days that were pretty crappy. So back to here. So I went earlier and like, okay, let's see if we can find her store on eBay. So I just went there and boom, it popped right up. So I clicked on her store, and my first thought going through this, wondering, how to get more sales, et cetera, et cetera. Well, first off, I'm noticing there's only 638 items here. That is low. You gotta if you want consistent sales, especially on eBay in the day of promoting, you gotta have a lot more than 600 items. You need more like 6,000 items. You have to get in there and just keep pounding through and getting stuff listed. Or finding a way to invest in your business monetarily to get more inventory if you don't have any, or if you're not turning over, and making some money. You've got to find a way to invest in it. But first and foremost, I would say double check all your essentials, all your basic nitty gritty stuff. So when I was coming in here and I'm looking at this stuff, the few things that I started noticing, I'm like, these things look way overpriced. Like I'm seeing this, just I didn't see this one earlier, but a floaty for a pool at $75. Why? Those things are, you can buy them $15 new in the store. Why is this floaty at $75? I had talked about this earlier in the week. You can't try to shoot for the stars when you're putting items into your store, because you're just going to drive off probably 3/4 of anybody who's at least interested in that item, because a lot of people are just going to look at it and go, there's no point in me sending them an offer. If it's $15 in the store, somebody might pay you 10 for it. Well, if I saw $75, there's no way I'm going to send you an offer for 10, because chances are you're not going to take it. That's the way I would view it. We got this pen here, this pen for $45. I can't think of any pen that would sell for $45 unless it was like something like an early Apple pen or early IBM pen, or something of that nature maybe. I don't even know what EdTel is. A telecom, so I'm guessing a communications company. There's probably no way ever that's going to sell for $45. Come down here a little bit more. Like the Sears catalogs for $284. That seems crazy to me. Let me go in the other way so I can see what is actually selling for what price, and then come back to this. All right, so let's hit sold. So an offer taken on a hat. We got a hat that was marked 30% off. An offer taken on this. Are you serious here? A 1988 Sears catalog for $306? Okay, maybe there's something there I didn't realize. And this was March 26th. Another one for $293 from 1996? This is shocking me right here. Really? I'm finding that weird. Is there something special about those? Fun in the Sun sale catalog. See, somebody else has them up for $99, free shipping. Interesting. But then you have these other ones for $25. So how did these sell for that much money, being overpriced like they are? And another one. And another. Well, offers were taken on those, but still seems very, very overpriced. So let's pull the Sears catalogs out of the equation, because something's weird there for me. I'm not getting this catalog thing when other ones are selling for a lot cheaper. So let's put that aside for a moment. Got some antique drawer openers. Pin 33. I'm looking at the item and the price. Got this owl for $23.19. Ping hat. Roller skates for $18. So not counting these things, because apparently you got something there I didn't know nothing about. Everything else is low dollar stuff. Dang, look at all these. That's crazy. Wow. Okay, $65 jacket, $30 plush, $17 plush, $23 Christmas. That's good money on that hat. $69 for the Batman hat. Got the Pokemon thing. Some Tupperware for $16. Coach bag. $24 belt buckle. So, all right. So that's only 38 items out of 600. So that's about 5% sell through. So we got these owls. See, like this is just bonkers to me right here. This Garfield, way overpriced from what I remember selling them for. This is the suction cup one, goes in your car, $70. That seems overpriced. A pin back for McDonald's, $113. This Virginia hat, definitely overpriced on that hat. Kind of gonna look at stuff that I know for sure because I've sell them. $34. Sock snowman. These are like almost like homemade things. $34 is probably high on those. I've sold them for cheaper. Notre Dame hat, $83. Definitely way overpriced on that. Way overpriced on that. Another Garfield for $57. That's overpriced on that. This is something that's probably got many people have. So let me see if this is overpriced. It's a Starbucks 2011 mug for $42. I know some of them can go for good money, but I know there's some of them that there's just a buttload of them out there. Yeah. Sold for $8, $13, $10, $13. And she has one up for $42. Way overpriced. Boyd's Bear, way overpriced. $76 for a 1997 Looney Tunes plush, way overpriced. No. All right, so the first problem you have is, I'm going to guess everything you have is overpriced. If those little simple things like this keychain, $28 for this Tupperware keychain, I've sold these before used, but they go for like $6. Let me see what you got. Set of two there, one open, one not open, it looks like. There's two for $9.99, free shipping, $6.99. So overpriced. So your first issues with this stuff is it's extremely overpriced. $60 for this Good Dinosaur plush, definitely way overpriced. First thing I would do is go knock all these down, way down in price. You need to double check everything. Yeah, this little fabric Christmas tree at $94. I know those are vintage and what have you, but that's way too much. A keychain, Tupperware keychain for $84? No. This is why you're having a hard time selling anything. You got a Muppet VHS tape here for $43. You'd be lucky to get $5 out of this. Well, it is new. You might get $5, $6 out of it. Let me go check. Yeah, $10 free shipping. $6, and you have it for 43. So, and with $14, that's from Canada here, so I get that. So you're, a good $35 overpriced on this. So first and foremost, you're way, way overpriced. So, yeah, I think that's the majority of your problem right there. No matter what you have up, how many you have up, how hard you're working, if your stuff's overpriced, it's not going to sell. It's just going to sit there, especially when you're as overpriced as I've seen in this store. I don't recall ever seeing a store that's so overpriced before. And I'm not trying to say anything in kind of any disrespectful way. I'm just giving you the honest truth. This hat, I would sell this hat for $5. $5.99 would be my lowest I would take for a hat like that. Somebody would offer me $5, I'd say $5.99, sold. $35, it's kind of ludicrous. Ludicrous. Yeah, I guess this could be a lesson to anybody watching this. You cannot overprice your items this drastically. It's one thing that if it's something new or there's very few out there, etc., and you still have to kind of watch it. But to be this drastically overpriced, see, even if you're the only one of this one up there, here's you got one that's got actually better color on it for $7. So this is never going to sell for $29. It's just not going to happen. You have this one for $3.99, $8. Biggest problem here is the pricing. So before I even get into any other details for anybody else, first and foremost, if your prices are not right, you're already dead in the water, no matter what else you do. Because nothing else you do is going to matter. And if you're trying to use the fact that, well, I got best offer, no, still doesn't matter. Because if you're so far off, like I said earlier, I wouldn't send an offer on it. Because when you're 60, 70% overpriced, nobody's going to come back at you at what the real number is and expect you to take it, being that your numbers are that high. Let me check this Funko Pop, because some Funko Pops are collectible. So I'm just curious on this one. Number 165, Darth Maul. Brand new, $25 shipped. So you're looking at $20 plus shipping on that. And you got it up for $89. Wow. You want to sell something, go in and, oh my gosh, this one hurts. Oh, this one hurts. Grand Ole Opry Nashville hat. I sell those all day long for $6. You got it for $78. No. 11 Sony cassettes, $74. No. You're going to get about $1 a piece out of these blank cassettes. This is at most a $15 lot, not $74. This hurts. Like if I was shopping and I came into your store and just saw a couple of these things, I wouldn't even look in your store. I'd back out and go someplace else. Having this stuff overpriced this much, is going to deter anybody from even looking at your items, um, let alone sending you an offer. Here's another one. A set of three. I'm guessing there's three in there for $45 for floatos. Like I said, that's $15. 11 PS3 games for $103 when these are probably, you know, $2 games. Here's again 7 games. You might be able to get $20 out of that lot of games. You got up for $75. Oh, really? Plastic spoons. Plastic spoon set for $97. No. What the heck? That copied everything, didn't it? And no wonder it's wanting to copy everything. Anyway, there's no way this is worth that much. I ain't even gonna look. There's no way. I sold one of these for like $15. You got up for $85. You're pricing yourself out of business. Like I said, if I came to the store and I saw this just one of these items so overpriced, I'd move on to the next buyer because there's no point. Yeah, I'm sorry. Truth may. I hope that, you know. Like I said, I don't mean no disrespect by this, but the truth is these prices are way, way, way too inflated for anybody to even think about it. Honestly, you probably have more shoppers laughing at you than feeling what you're doing, right? Like if I clicked into the store, what's this header about? You know, sure, it's nice and pretty, make nice for a nice, you know, screensaver. What does that got to do with your store, right? If I had this and I say I inherited this and somebody said, what would you do? Well, first off, if you go with the same name, I got what you want. I'd play on that with the IEYE like you are, and create a little logo. You can use AI and anything these days to create a little logo, and play with some maybe a shape of an eye, and then got what you want written in the center of the eyeball or something, and use that as your big picture up here. Play if you want to keep that same name, play off of that. But the biggest thing in your store that's going to generate sales is the pricing. Oh, it hurts. This hurts. Oh man. Yeah. And then how many do you list? And is there a secret to reset the algorithm? None of that matters with your items. No matter what you do, they're not going to sell. You need to go in, and what I would do is if I inherited all that, I'd go in and put like 80% off on the whole store. I would go in and take all the prices down like 80%, 75, 80%, and start there. That's what I would do. And you may think, well, and I'm not going to be able to make enough to, it ain't going to be worth my while. Well, is it worth your while now? You say, it's hell trying to keep food on the table, but you got to price the stuff where people's going to pay for it. It's not dreamland, fantasyland. It's reality. Everybody's there's a 1,000 of those items on the internet somewhere for somebody to buy. You've got to be competitive. I'm going to stop here, just because I feel like if I gave any further information on what you could do, that it may mislead you. Since I am answering this question to this person with this eBay store, I don't want to mislead you and say, oh, well, if you do this and this and this, and well, even if I said after you change your prices, do this, this, and this, I feel like you may just skip the changing of the price thing and go to the other and think that that will help when it won't. So I'm ending it here and say, you're way overpriced. Knock your prices down 75%. Not even on a sale, just knock them down 75% and start there, and you'll start having some stuff move. Then after that, list. But pay attention to pricing. That is oh man. I'm sorry. That hurts to see that, because you're saying it's hell to keep food on the table, yet it's so obvious. And it should be obvious to you, especially if you listed it and you looked it up. You got that's the first hurdle. You got it. If you're not willing to do that, there's nothing more I can do to help you. Honestly, nothing. You got to be realistic. All right, I am done. I'm getting back to work. I got work to do. So thanks everybody, and yeah, I will see you all in the next video later.